says some people are on. Comment in the chat bar on the right if you can see it, and tell me where you're from, and we'll see if anyone's really on. And you'll hear Brady screaming in the background. He's yelling.
He's always present in all the videos.
He is. Well, I think people are on. I don't know if they're going to chat. There's always a delay. But we're going to get started because we don't want to drag this out. I know it's Saturday morning. People are busy. People have stuff going on. But we're super excited to talk to you guys about what we call our miracle morning. So basically, for those of you that don't know who we are, we're the Folsoms.
JD.
I'm Micah. And we have been married for almost 10 years.
10 years December.
We're basically old. No, but over the past few years, we've kind of been figuring stuff out, learning a lot about each other, about what we want out of life. And one of the things that we started implementing a couple years ago was this Miracle Morning. And there's a book called The Miracle Morning, and we hadn't even read that yet. We didn't even know anything about it. We didn't know it was a thing. That's what we had to start doing in order to improve where we were at.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I guess, rewind, is it 3 years?
Yeah.
Ago? I mean, roughly 3 years ago. So I was in my third year of vet school. My schedule was crazy. I was at the school by 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning. At this point, we had 2 kids. Mike is at home, obviously taking care of them. She's also running, she was running a very successful wedding, senior portrait photography business. And so literally, I was gone by the time Mike and the kids woke up in the morning. And when I got home, as soon as I got home from school and my studies and whatnot, she was headed out the door to take pictures.
We're basically
yeah, we're never together. And it started to affect our relationship. And it came to a point where, we had some marriage problems, and it came to a point where we had to change something with our schedule. If we didn't change something, basically our marriage wasn't going to last. And so, we had to make some major changes. And one of those was changing, basically what worked for us was our mornings. And we, at this point, hadn't even read The Miracle Morning yet. That's just working out was a big part of what we did. And so the only time that we could fit that in was very early in the morning.
So basically it came down to, we realized that we needed to obviously make time for each other because we weren't. We had all of the stuff that we were doing, but we were doing it separately. And so working out was one of the things that we were both doing, but we were doing it separate. And so we were like, well, that's one thing we can do together. And how can we do that? And so the only way we could do that was either early morning before he left for school, or late at night. And I don't know if y'all are moms, but by the end of the day, that is the last thing you want to do is work out once you get your kids to bed. You just want to lay there and crash and tap out. And so we did that. We did the nighttime thing for a little bit because I'm like, there's no way I can wake up early. Don't count me in for that. I am not a morning person. And then I just didn't love working out at night. And so I'm like, okay, we got to give this a try. So I don't know if there's a way to add subtitles. I'm not sure. I'll have to play around with that afterwards. We might be able to do it after the fact. But so basically we started working out early in the morning together, and that was kind of the extent of it. That was
it was just working out.
Working out was how we got started.
Yeah.
And then I started coaching, and I started needing to implement more work time and more intentional time where I could focus and build my business and help people. And so then I started reading this book called The Miracle Morning, and it talked all about the steps that you do each morning to wake up, to start your day off right, to get in the right mindset, to really take control of your day and to live with purpose. And it was a total game changer, like implementing the other aspects also of the Miracle Morning. So we got into this routine. We do it together, which has been awesome for our relationship. And it's just changed, like it's changed the dynamic of everything in life. And so it's kind of something that we're really passionate about, because I honestly don't, maybe some people are morning people naturally, but I think very few people are like, wake up and are, woo, I love waking up super early in the dark when it's freezing cold outside. Like, I don't really know that many people that feel like that naturally. But when you get into a routine, you create this routine where it's your normal, and you really do wake up with intention and with purpose and with excitement. It changes that feeling when the alarm goes off. One of the things that I hear from most people is, I hit snooze like 5 times. I can't get out of bed. How do you do it? How do you stay motivated? And there's a couple things. One, it's just that flipping the switch, where you don't give yourself the option not to. You don't give yourself the option not to wake up. You just roll out of bed. You don't hit snooze. That's the one thing that I think has probably helped me more than anything, but that's also a mindset thing. You have to get to that place mentally where you can be in control of your life and you can flip the switch and know that you're going to hold yourself accountable, type of thing. But in the book, he actually goes into some tips on how to break the snooze habit. And so I wanted to share those. Do you want to share those?
Sure.
We're going to share those because I think that's one of the really, one of the really common things that people are like, I'm just so tired. I can't help it. And I'm like, that's everyone. Like, you're not any different than anyone else. Everyone is tired in the morning. Everyone wants to hit snooze. Everyone wants to stay in their warm bed. Everyone, you know what I mean? Like, that's the normal thing. But I can promise you, if you want to live an above average life to your fullest, to be your happiest, to live that level 10 life that you know you are capable of, you have to do things that aren't normal. And so this is one of those things that it's not really normal to start your day really early and like this. But if you research or you learn about any of the high achievers, really successful people in life, this is something that they do because it makes a huge difference. So let's do the snooze habit breakers really quick, because I think these will really help kind of get the ball rolling a little bit.
So the first one, and honestly, I think it's probably the most important one, is setting your intentions the night before. And we were actually just talking about this before we started. Part of the guy who wrote the book actually kind of did somewhat of a study on his own during the book where regardless he would get between 4 and 9 hours of sleep during the night. And regardless of how many hours of sleep he got, depending on basically what he thought in his mind or said to himself as he was going to bed, that would help determine how he woke up, whether it was 4 hours or 9 hours. If in his mind he was thinking, man, I feel like I'm so tired, like I got to be up in 4, 5, 6, or whatever it is. Like, if you go to bed with that mentality, regardless, you're going to wake up exhausted. Okay. And so in here, it just proved how important it was as you're going to bed to, understand your purpose, why you're waking up in the morning, and go to bed with a positive mindset. Number 2, move your alarm clock across the room. Okay. Obviously I wake up a little bit earlier than Micah does, and I'm not perfect with this. I'll even throw my phone to where it's still plugged in, but it's still close enough to where I can grab the cord and like pull it over and hit snooze. And so, I still do it every once in a while, but so obviously I need to implement this. Phone needs to go in the bathroom or something. So I have to get out of bed. Number 3, he says, get up, brush your teeth, splash some water on your face. Number 4, drink a full glass of water. Just gets everything moving, gets stuff going. And then number 5 is get dressed to work out or jump right in the shower. And so those are the 5 things that he went over in the book. I'm sure there's other things that you can do also.
Flip the lights on right when you wake up, right when your alarm clock goes off. Another one he talks about were the bedtime affirmations. And and we'll go into savers in a second because that's a huge part of the book and what you do in the morning. But another part of it is affirmations and like just telling yourself the positive thoughts and the positive statements that really help your life and help you manifest what you want. And so the bedtime affirmations goes in line with the setting your intentions the night before. Like, I'm excited to wake up in the morning and whatever, I can't wait to be energized and fulfilled and roll out of bed. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're setting these intentions at night. I'm going to wake up with purpose, with passion to reach You know what I mean? Like you're doing these things at nighttime. And then when your alarm does go off, you're like, you have that excitement. You have that, kind of that tenacity to take control of your day instead of doing the snooze thing and being like, I don't want to wake up.
I mean, hitting the snooze is just as much of a habit as rolling out of bed in the morning. And so, I mean, a lot of these things, I mean, like you got to hardcore implement these things probably for the first week to 10 days. I mean, just until it starts becoming a habit. And then, I mean, just like hitting the snooze, one of these things, I mean, whatever works for you, that's going to become a habit for you. And I mean, and pretty soon it's just natural. And that's how, I mean, we've done this for so long now. Like if something, I mean, I can't remember the last time we didn't wake up and do it.
Yeah. Like we were talking last night, like even when, for instance, I travel a little bit for work, and even when I have a flight at 6 o'clock in the morning and I have to be at the airport by 5 or whatever, like I still do my miracle morning at like 3:30 in the morning, and we get it done and we still stick with it. And it's not something that like you just fit in when it's convenient. That's just how you do.
Like our day is not
That's
normal
how you start your day, no matter what.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So it just kind of throws the rest of our day off.
Marcella said, she said she goes to bed too late, wanting to have some time alone. How do you get yourself to bed early without feeling like she's going to give up that time alone? So that was actually me. Like you said, I was a photographer. So I would stay up really late editing and getting work done once the kids were in bed. And I'm like, that's my time. I can't go to bed earlier. But honestly, when I started flipping that a little bit, I started waking up early. One, I could get a lot done in the morning when your mind is sharp, you're fresh, you're excited, you have a game plan. So you live with intention and you're more productive. And then at nighttime, at nighttime, I would say your body naturally adjusts. So some people are like, well, I'm a night owl, I stay up forever. But if you're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I can promise you, you're going to start getting tired at night and you're going to want to go to bed. Even if you're like, oh, I don't want to miss this alone time, you're going to want to go to bed. So you'll go to bed, you'll wake up earlier, and then you'll be more productive. You'll be, and that's part of the savers is scribing. And part of the thing that we do is plan out our day. We have everything mapped out so that we know what we're doing, when we're doing, and we're just living with a purpose instead of just living life and then letting stuff get thrown at us and throw us off. And life is just chaos. You're living with a purpose. And so you can get the stuff done and you won't feel like you're missing out on that time is what happened to me. So I would guess that's what will happen to you. So do you want to go over to the savers a little bit?
Yeah.
So basically he has these things and he calls them lifesavers. So it's an acronym. So savers stand for something. So in the morning, and every morning routine can look different, and there's not a right or wrong way to do it. You just find what works for you. And ours is constantly changing. Like sometimes we'll implement a little bit of this. We have a pretty basic one, like non-negotiable. This is what we do all the time. But then if we have a little bit more time, or if we're working on certain goals, we'll implement some other things. But some of these things that he talks about so write these down. They're the savers. And I'll tell you what they are, and then he can describe them. Do you want to describe them, or do you want to?
It don't matter.
Okay. So there's silence. S is for silence. A is for affirmations. V is for visualization. E is for exercise. R is for reading. And S is for scribe.
So obviously silence. So I mean, take a moment I mean, whether that is you, if you're religious, saying a prayer. I mean, you can meditate. He talks about the power of meditation. So, I mean, whatever that means to you, that silence, set aside a few minutes and just be quiet. And whatever
Silence
you're doing,
your brain.
exactly.
Just be still.
Yeah, exactly. It's important. Obviously, the 8 affirmations. So, I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand with what Micah was saying, like kind of the nighttime affirmations. Whatever you visualize your day looking like, yeah, I mean, you have a list of affirmations, whether you have it recorded or you have a paper that has them and you read them out loud. But he also talks about the importance of the language you use. It's like, I am a happy person. I am this. So, I mean, you have to. I
do. I deserve.
Exactly.
I live. I like the positive in the present form.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about how important that is. Visualization. So again, that ties in. I mean, we plan our days out. And so, I mean, you need to stop long enough too in the morning to visualize what you want or how you want your day to go. I mean, look at what you have planned for the day. How do you want that to happen?
I mean, even like in the book, one of the things that he just talks about visualizing how you want to live your life. So like for me, I know one of the things I struggle with is patience with my kids. Like they legit can drive me crazy. And so one of the things that I should visualize every single morning is like dealing with situations, like when they're bickering and when they're doing things that make me want to scream and go crazy, visualizing how I'm going to respond to that, how I'm going to be more kind and patient and loving in those situations. And those are the things that you will start to do when your subconscious mind is working on these things. You will start to live out those things. So visualization is super powerful. And I was a gymnast for 7 years. And that was something that we did all the time. Before meets, we would go through our routines in our brain, perfect, doing everything perfect and visualizing and just mentally preparing. And so that's something that's been really familiar with me from an early age, since I would do that all the time, but I haven't implemented it recently the way that I should. So,
and again, you don't have to, I mean, you got to find what type of visualization works for you. So, I mean, whether that, word. I know it is. So whether that is, I mean, you got something important that day and you're going to visualize it going perfectly for you, exactly how you planned, whether you're visualizing your future goals, how you want your life to be, find out what works for you, and it'll change too. Like Mike was saying, depending on certain goals we're going for right now, that might change for us, from a week to week, standpoint or whatever. Basis. There you go. Okay. The E, exercise. That's pretty self-explanatory. That is
move your body.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, whatever that is for you. I mean, we always have a program we're doing. I mean, so we have ours kind of scheduled out, but find what works for you, whether that's stretching, jogging. I mean, you got to get your blood flowing, get those endorphins up in the morning. I mean, that's important. R is for reading. We read a lot of self-development books. Maybe it's a business book. I mean, whatever. I mean, something that's going to kind of uplifting, something that kind of gets your mind engaged for the day. I mean, it really can be anything. We read our scriptures in the morning. So, I mean, whatever, just some sort of reading, just set some time aside for that. And then again is scribing. So whether that's planning your day out, I know a lot of people like to write in their journals.
Or like a gratitude list, starting your day with gratitude.
Yeah. So, I mean, and again, this can be whatever you want it to be. It's just whatever you do, though, try to be consistent day to day and just create a habit of what it's going to be. And then pretty soon, I mean, it really is powerful. I mean, it'll become a part of your life. And then if something happens, you don't do it, I mean, you'll see how it just throws it. Yeah, it throws you off. And so
I think that's sometimes we get so used to doing it that it takes a day of not doing it to be like, oh my heavens, why do I feel so
like when we go on vacation or something,
Yeah.
it throws it off. I mean,
yeah, you just feel like drained and kind of out of whack and not as productive, and it just makes a huge difference. So, yeah, we're going to share with you our morning, just what a typical morning looks like. Like I said, sometimes we implement some other things, but these are just, it doesn't take long. It's not something that has to be hours long. These are just a couple minutes at a time. You're doing these things. So basically what we do, he wakes up a little bit earlier than I do to study and read stuff.
Extra reading. And
then my alarm goes off at 5. I have my alarm set for 5 and 5:05. So between 5 and 5:05, I'm supposed to wake up and kind of have that moment of silence, pray, do some affirmations, and have that little me time. Usually by then he's coming in with our pre-workout drink.
Every morning.
Every morning. Shake, 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 shake. He comes in, brings me that. So I have my pre-workout. We read our scriptures together. And then we get ready to work out. So, and lots of times when we're getting ready to work out, we'll play an audio. I get this thing called Darren Daily, which is just a daily email sent. That's like a 2 to 5 minute video of a positive message for the day. So usually I'll listen to that while we're getting ready, and then we'll go work out. We work out from home, so our kids are still sleeping. And our workouts are right around 30 minutes.
Yeah, and we're working out by 6 o'clock. So
yeah,
her alarm goes off at 5. I mean, we're not rushed. Like we spend 10, 15 minutes reading our scriptures.
And then we'll visit, we'll talk,
take our time,
we'll have that
ready,
time together.
And then we're ready to pre-workouts kicked in by 6, and
then we go work out. Then by 6:30, we're done. We wake the kids up. We get our daughter off to school. We have that morning time where it's not rushed. It's not crazy. It's not stressful. People, like, it's positive. It's a positive experience. And I remember before we started mornings, I wouldn't wake up until my kids were climbing all over me and waking me up in bed. And I was normally really ornery and grumpy and not wanting to wake up. And they were usually already fighting or crying or whining. And that was just like, who wants to wake up like that? Like having that hour and a half to myself, well, with him, but just to have that silence and that moment of like me time where I could work on myself so that I could be better for my kids and for the people that I work with each day, like, has made all the difference. So that's basically what our day looks like. I mean, right after we're done working out, I always have a game plan for my day so that I can schedule in my business hours because I work from home. So lots of times it can get crazy. So I'll schedule in like when I'm going to be working. I'll check in with my groups. He's getting off to work, and then we just go about our day. So it's not anything that needs to be like miraculous or groundbreaking. It's just these simple daily habits that will trickle over into all aspects of your life. So in order to help you guys, we're going to actually do one of the things that is the hardest part about creating new habits and creating kind of new lifestyle changes is actually starting them and then actually sticking with them. So we're going to do a 5-day free group next week on Facebook. And so anyone who's excited about learning more about it and just wanting to get started and wanting to work on your own miracle morning, I made a short link and I'll put it in the chat bar because this will direct you right to the free group on Facebook, MFF Morning. And then that should work. If it doesn't work, just message me on Facebook or email me and I can get you added. But we're just going to be teaching a little bit more about the savers and going into that in more detail and helping you guys just really craft your morning and then holding you accountable to getting started and to implementing those things. So it'll be fun for those of you that are engaged in rocking it out. We're going to have some prizes and just make it fun. So that's going to start on Monday. So if you're listening to the recording and we've already started, you can still jump in or you can message me and see if you can get in on the next one. But is there anything else?
I don't think so. I think that.
I mean, hopefully this helps. Honestly, I know it's not anything that's like, holy moly, this is like incredible information, but it's seriously probably the one thing that has really, 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 I mean,
not just in business and in life,
everything.
but our relationship. I mean, it's just in every aspect of our life, it's been, I mean, vital. I mean,
Yeah.
it's made an impact in every aspect of our life. And so it's.
Yeah. So we just wanted to pass it along and share it, because I know that lots of people feel like they get in that rut, or they feel like they're just, it's chaos and it's crazy and it's stressful. And that's not how life needs to be. Like, you can enjoy your life. And so this is one thing that you have control of that will help you get on the right track to taking control of your life and to really making the changes that you want to make. So I'm excited to see who jumps in there. Hopefully this was helpful, and we will, a replay link will get sent out in a little bit too to your email. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us this morning, you guys. Hopefully you guys have an awesome Saturday. I think we're going to go see Beauty and the Beast. So that'll be fun.
Have a good weekend.
But have a good weekend, you guys. See ya.